Welcome to episode four of the Out of Bounds podcast. You're rocking with 2/3 of the Out of Bounds podcast. Once again, I go by the name of the Delta Fashionista, also known as the James Harden of the Out of Bounds podcast, also known as the old head of the Out of Bounds podcast. And today I'm here alongside. Introduce yourself to the people, bro.
Yeah, Donnie, you already know who it is. Sports, film, and music journalist. Glad to be here once again. We got a great things to talk about.
Yeah, it's not only that, but we'll also begin dive into some topic that we normally do not discuss on this show. Because as you guys can see from the logo, we mostly cover basketball, football, but today we're gonna be diving into the boxing world. We're also gonna be discussing some things within Major League Baseball that a great Hall of Fame worthy player Albert Pujols just recently got designated for signing from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. So we'll be discussing what might be best for him and his future going forward. And also we're gonna be touching on the Floyd Mayweather and Jake Paul social media scruffle. If we could actually call it that, is it, a setup as far as like for great things to come as far like a fight with between Floyd and Jake Paul after he's done with Logan? Or was this just like a kind of like, just a regular like little skit, little storyline aspect of things to kind of like sub promote the fight? And also, is this good for the sport of boxing? No, so we'll basically be discussing all of this and more. All right. So let's get to it, bro. Now, we've gone over this, offline, but we both saw it, the clips. Floyd Mayweather and Jake Paul. Jake Paul snatched Floyd Mayweather's hat. You know, Floyd Mayweather
Of
got
course,
hot,
right?
threatened to end his life. You got dudes on social media turn into memes. Charlamagne the God talk about like he's gonna tell his kids, his grandkids that this was Selma 1965. They nucked, we bucked. 50 Cent clowning him, Conor McGregor's getting after him, talk about like Floyd should be ashamed of himself, for getting involved with this shit. So where do you stand on this?
From a marketing and pure entertainment standpoint, I think it was a great idea. It definitely, for me, somebody who doesn't watch that boxing enough, it definitely got me hyped for it. But I'm more so on the side of I think all these YouTubers and other sports athletes are ruining the sport of boxing.
Interesting.
It it's definitely been on the decline in recent years, and putting fellow YouTubers and just anybody you can find and just throwing them on a title card is just absolutely laughable. I mean, you got Jake Paul fighting Floyd Mayweather. I mean, yeah, I know it's for money and stuff like that, but come on, man. Floyd shouldn't have even picked up his phone for that shit.
I think it's at this point like Floyd Mayweather, because like, well, actually, we don't know because we're not athletes or like big time celebrities stuff like that. At least not yet. But like sometimes I think it's hard to walk away from like the public from that public eye. When you're so used to like being the source of
Walk
comment.
away from it, dude. Dude is worth how much? Just, just leave. Just buy an island and chill on that shit. You don't have to fight everybody that comes in your face.
Duke about $5 at this point, but like he's a fighter at the end of the day. So like
No, 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 dude. Sit your old ass home and just collect your million. Like you don't have to prove anybody. Because in the off chance that Logan Paul does knock him the hell out, then that tarnishes his legacy.
I mean, but what are the odds of that happening though? Like if Conor McGregor couldn't do it, and he's one of the best strikers in the UFC.
Strangest shit has happened in the world of sport. I personally thought that Floyd Mayweather can kick Logan Paul's ass until I saw him face to face, and I realized that Logan Paul has like 2 feet on the dude. That changes a lot.
Now, you said that you don't really necessarily follow the sport of boxing, but do you feel like the Paul brothers, because they're YouTubers, like they're controversial, things of that nature, but they're very smart businessmen. That's one thing we gotta get the credit for. That they're very smart businessmen. So, in your opinion, because I have my own thoughts on this, but as the old head, I have my own thoughts on somebody that grew up watching boxing. But for you, do you feel like the Paul brothers have done enough to kind of like get you excited about the sport of boxing? Because this ain't the first time. Logan Paul, he had like a couple fights with KSI. Jake Paul fought Nate Robinson. He just beat Ben Askren like a couple of weeks ago, and that fight looked the stage to me. I'm not gonna hold you. That fight looked the stage to me. So with this right here, even though it's the wrong brother, because you'll think like, well, this fight should have been Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul, but I guess that would have been too obvious to the public, So they had to use the younger brother. So So basically, what I'm saying is, are the Paul brothers doing enough to get you interested in the sport of boxing?
Yes, and like I said, I don't know much about boxing, but I do know I do search Twitter and all the social media sites to see what dumb shit that the Paul brothers have gotten themselves into today. Um, like I said, they know what they're doing. They're entertaining. I mean, they're being talked about on ESPN. They're being talked about on this freaking show. And a couple of years ago, they were fucking just YouTubers.
Yeah.
So I think they know what they're doing, and it's purely for entertainment, and they definitely got me entertained.
As far as for me, man, like, because I grew up watching boxing, so I've seen like so many of the greats, from Sugar Ray Leonard. Granted, he's past his prime, when I started watching in the
Right.
'90s. Person I seen, I met Kevin Kelly, Diego Corrales, rest in peace. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., Hector Camacho, Tito Trinidad, Miguel Cotto, Manny Pacquiao, Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, Floyd Mayweather when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, all to Money May, Ricky Hatton, Zab Judah, Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe. So even currently with current fighters like Adrian Broner, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Bud Crawford, Javante Davis, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Johnson, Tyson Fury, Bernard Hopkins, who's retired right now, Roy Jones Jr., not a retired fighter. But I grew up watching the sport, so I was always interested because my family loves boxing as well, so it was kind of like our thing. But and for me, like, I'll always watch a fight whether it's on HBO, Showtime, ESPN, Fox, CBS, what case would be. Like, there's a fight I'm gonna try to watch it. But I see how for someone like yourself, like, I guess it's beneficial because like these Paul brothers, like, they're very controversial but also entertaining, and they bring a quality in boxing that has been missing. Boxing needs villains. Floyd Mayweather is a villain. So it's been years. Many people are like, I'm just gonna order this Floyd fight because I want to see him get knocked out. That's what they came to see. Now that shifted to the Paul brothers, like, man, like, these dudes, they so cocky and this and that. They run this sport. They know so much about boxing. I want to see these dudes get knocked the fuck out. So I guess in a sense, they bringing back that element into the sport. But I could see how Triple G or Canelo Alvarez or guys like that could be like, like, this ain't good for the sport. Now, can you
Right.
kind of sympathize for the boxers that kind of like make their living doing this, and now we have these YouTubers coming and making mockery of the sport?
Yeah, and not just YouTubers. You got washed up old boxers thinking they have a chance and stuff like that. I mean, besides Mike Tyson.
That Tyson and Roy Jones. That was like two uncles, man, fighting fighting at the family reunion. That's how that looked.
Yeah, I think people would just see boxing as a quick way to get a buck. I mean, somebody wanted to reach out to me and was like, "Hey, I want to pay you like 3 million just to take a punch." I'd be like, "Sign me the fuck up."
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's just a quick buck. I think for most people, but I think it does destroy like the credibility of it all. Not the entertainment thing because the entertainment has been on the rise. I think just the credibility of boxing just having the best of the best, pound for pound, going at it, and it's not like that anymore.
Well, repeat that last part again. You said what's not like what anymore?
Oh, I think for the credibility of boxing, it's it ruins things, but on the entertainment side, it's great for boxing. But at the end of the day, I think it destroys the credibility of boxing being a the best of the best fighters just in a ring, 12 rounds, just going at it or anything like that. Just pounce down, man for man, beating on each other.
But is it really good though? Because this is the way I look at it. I look at Logan, the Paul brothers, Logan and Jake Paul. I look at them as marketers, right? So what they're doing is I guess they're marketing themselves as boxers, which basically they're bringing people in to watch them because they have their own fan base, right? And you have those that are like, like I follow boxing a little bit. I kind of, I probably play like Fight Night back in the day, so shit like that. So I kind of like I'm familiar with some boxing. I haven't really followed it too much because I haven't noticed like any superstars. I'm just speaking to like the general public, right? So they
Right.
might see these Paul brothers like, like they're promoting boxing, So this seems like a sport, like boxing. That's a sport that brings everybody together because everybody loves to see a knockout. You know, boxing like that
Yeah,
train wreck sport. Like you want to see somebody get knocked out. It doesn't always happen, but you keep coming back for the thrill, for the chance of seeing it happen. So you see these Paul brothers come in, they're like very braggadocious, especially Jake Paul. Especially Jake Paul.
yeah,
Logan, not so much, but Jake
yeah.
Paul off the
Logan
wall.
is the more of the chill one. I know he had some controversy a couple
Yeah,
of years ago, but he's somebody who has been able to change their image,
exactly.
and he's now known as like the cool, like low key guy, but it's his brother who's just like taking Floyd's hat, man. Like, come on, you lucky all those cameras were there. He's lucky all those cameras were there.
I mean,
Because
I'll be, I'll be mad too if I didn't have a fresh cut and a shape of.
oh
I
man,
am mad
when
too.
I
If somebody
saw it,
take my head, I'm
oh,
looking the way I'm looking.
when I saw
Boy.
the interview he did with like Barstool Sports afterwards, and I was like, oh, I see why he was mad. They took his dad. Dude looked like he's been working in the field for years.
Bro, dude look like his pops now. Like, dude
He
like he's
looks
been
like
on
one of
hard
those
time.
looks like one of those dudes that tried to sell me $2 for a swipe at the Allegheny station.
No, he look like one of
Like for
those
two
dudes.
dollars, man. Ah, I'm good, B.
Man, I should be shit on Floyd. I think 'cause, man, Floyd could buy both of our lives right now. But Floyd look like those dudes that be like outside
Yo,
Dunkin' Donuts, holding the door with the cup in their hand.
I mean, but in all
That's somebody
serious
just
though,
get with that
like
fly fit.
if any body from Floyd's watching this, yo, contact me. I'll fight you.
Shit,
I'll fight you.
I don't want that type of smoke. Hey, this is a funny dude out here. So.
Shit, I do for a million. Shit,
Oh yeah,
even
for
for
a million. Oh, most
50,000,
definitely,
I'll take that.
most definitely for a million. Well, like I was saying, like the Paul brother, they're bringing people to the sport of boxing, but just to watch stuff. It's not really doing much for the sport itself. It's just like this shit is working out for the Paul brothers. So that's all I kind of say. Like I don't see how it's really helping the sport of boxing grow. Like yeah, it's putting you in the conversation, getting you on ESPN and stuff like that. First Take, Undisputed, those talk shows, but it's not gonna help a Canelo Alvarez. It's not gonna help a Triple G. It's not gonna help a Javante Davis. It's not gonna help a Terrence Bud Crawford. It's not gonna help a Errol Spence. You know what I mean? It's not helping the actual fighters themselves. It's be
Yeah,
like,
I don't
oh,
think
we come to see the
those
Paul
people
brothers.
even watch it. I don't
Yeah,
even
but
think those people entertain the thought of uh nobody in their circle is like, hey, put on that Jake Paul fight. Let's see what's going on. Nobody professional fighters aren't worried about these fucking YouTubers. The only Floyd Mayweather did this for a check. He's not even worried about these YouTubers. Nobody cares about these people. I mean, look at the Thriller Fight Club that they had that was supposed to be Jake Paul's first official bout, against a washed up wrestler.
Yeah, Ben Askren. And Ben
They
Askren,
they
he was
had,
getting rocked in MMA, so I wasn't surprised.
yeah, and at the end of the match, they had those fucking TikTok stars, the Emilio sisters, handing Jake Paul the belt. And at then, that was probably the lowest point of boxing I've ever seen.
I
And they
mean,
gave it to the wrong person at first.
I
So,
mean,
like, what does that tell you? Come on, man.
shit. Like boxing right now, I feel like the sports is in the top of the conversation for the wrong reason. Yeah, Oscar De La Hoya making an ass out of himself during the Twitter broadcast, coked out, or drunk out of his mind. You got Snoop Dogg. Snoop is a massive concept. I get on that, but it's like, come on, you
Oh
really
yeah,
want the sport to be taken seriously, then you can't have it
yeah.
like
Had Justin Bieber performing at the pre-show or the halftime show. I don't even know what it is
it's
because
just.
I'm not going to pay for box. I can
No,
search on YouTube or Twitter and
I was just
see the
about to.
knockout.
I was just about to ask you. You just gonna order this fight?
Hell no, I'm not going to order this fight. Why when then somebody's making a TikTok of it 30 seconds later? Nah, B.
Yeah, but it's gonna be taken down, just like on YouTube. It is on
Yeah, on
YouTube.
YouTube, Black Twitter is too fast for that shit.
Facts. But I'm enticed. Because I haven't really like ordered a Logan Paul or Jake Paul fight, but I'm intrigued about the possibility of Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul because you got people that hate the Paul brothers. You also have a group of people that hate Floyd Mayweather. So you put
Right.
these two together. You want somebody. Hopefully, this does not go to the scorecards. So I'm taking a chance at about 95%. There's a 95% chance somebody's gonna get knocked out. So
If Floyd doesn't get knocked out, that will be all for nothing. If he doesn't hit the or touch the mat once,
if Floyd gets knocked out, that'll set black people back 100 years.
if Floyd gets knocked out, I'm contacting his agent to set up the next match for me.
Bro, you might as well, if Floyd, you get knocked out, bro. You might as well just move to Iceland.
Yeah, if you get knocked out, you got to go back to the homeland, man,
For
and
real,
find
man.
yourself.
For real. But also, Chad Ochocinco, if he ends up on this fight card, that might be another reason for that I might watch because Chad Ochocinco, that's one of my favorite football players, bro. So if he ends up on this card, because this is gonna be a train wreck either way. So like, why not add
Yeah,
to a train wreck by adding one of the most controversial and most popular figures in NFL history in Chad Ochocinco Johnson? That'll just be
now
like,
that you mentioned it, I might pay to see this train wreck.
you see. You see, money team, hire me. You see how they're able to convince this dude just like that to order this fight, man.
But
Like,
I'm telling you,
holla at your boys.
if Mayweather doesn't hit the mat once, I want a refund.
Nah, that's
That's
definitely
all.
bro. If he hits the mat, that's gonna set us back a quarter century. If he gets knocked out, that's gonna set us back 100
He
years.
can't show his face in the United States
That
anymore.
can't happen. Like if everybody thought like the public, the public screw for Nate Robinson was bad when Nate got knocked out, as Channing Crowd say booty in the air. If they thought that was bad, oh my god, this happened to Floyd, bro. He'll never live, especially 50 Cent. 50 Cent ain't gonna let him live it down.
No, 100%.
He's definitely not, man. But who knows, man? I personally think that Floyd Mayweather he shouldn't have taken this fight. I think he should just enjoy the fruits of his labor. But I can understand, why some guys when they in the limelight for that long, they love the thrill of it. They cannot imagine life, without they cannot imagine their life going on without seeing themselves on TV, seeing themselves be talked about doing like sports shows, debate shows, stuff like that. So I could see it that way. But
Yeah, I think he just wants money. Fuck all the thrill of that shit. He just
yeah,
wants that money.
speaking of athletes that have a hard time walking away or admitting when it's over, that brings us to our next topic for today. Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols was recently designated for assignment by the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. This season he played about 23 games. He's batting 198 with 5 home runs, 12 RBIs. This past season during the COVID season, he batted 224 with 6 home runs and 25 RBIs. In his last full season in 2019, he played 131 games. He batted 244 with 23 homers and 93 RBIs. He signed with the Angels in 2012, and so basically this is basically supposed to be the last year of a 10-year deal. He spent the first 10 years of his career with the Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals, I should say, and the back end of his career with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. So with that being said, as far as his numbers go, he had a Hall of Fame career for sure. 298 career batting average, 667 home runs, over 2,100 RBIs, 3,253 career hits, which is 12th all time. He's fifth all time in home runs hit. Do you think he should call it a career at this point?
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, he's had a Hall of Fame career. He's an icon in the world of baseball, and this goes for any athlete pushing 10 years in the sport that they play. Hang it up. Just hang it up. There's no shame in calling it quits early and
At
enjoying the
all.
fruits of your.
At all.
And the most surprising thing about this is he still thinks that he got it. Like he can be an everyday player, and you're
You
not.
can't. You can't. And you're not an everyday player for the Angels. Like it's not like they have a great amount of depth at first base or DH.
Right.
So like, you can't get on the field for nothing. Come on, man. Like you said,
Yeah.
there's no shame. There's no shame. It just admit like, hey, like I'm not the player that I used to be. I'd rather personally, if it was me, I'd rather people remember me for my greatness rather than remember me as the being like a what's the phrasing? Um, a shell for my old self, something like that. I don't know the phrasing, man.
Yeah. Shell of my former self.
Yeah, shell of my former self. So like, just call it a career, dude. I don't want to see you
Yeah.
on the Yankees. I
And
damn.
I think that goes for any person who's a pillar of their preferred career or something. Look at Eminem. Dude should have hung it up 5 years ago.
Oh, we going there.
And I love Eminem.
I ain't
Like, come
gonna.
on, dude.
I can't. I don't really know that many Eminem tracks like that. I ain't gonna hold you.
All right, come on. Don't front now. Don't front.
I'm
Don't,
not.
don't act
I'm
like,
not.
oh,
Eminem.
Eminem, who's that? No, don't do
Eminem.
that.
Eminem is too emo for me, bro. It's like he always sound
Too
depressed. Like
emo.
he's too emo for me.
That's like the number one reason I hear within the black community as to why we don't like Eminem. Oh, he all he does is scream
I'm
white
like, bro.
mom
Like,
music or
I'm like,
white
bro.
stepmom music. Oh, I hate my stepdad, which was actually a fire song, by the way. But that's all I hear. Oh, he's too white for me. Come on,
It's
man.
it's not that. It's not that for me because there's some white rappers that I like. Don't put me on the spot. Ask me who they are.
Right, I was about to say name two. Because I can name three that I like right now.
Don't do that to me now. But there's some out there. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. But Eminem is definitely not one of them. He's because I'm like, bro, like who made you like I said, like you had a rough life and shit like that, like growing up in aim out, blah blah, like shit, like home life wasn't good with parents and all that. Like I get that. There's plenty of people that can relate to that, I'm most sure. But I'm like, goddamn, like bro, do you gotta be angry in just about every song?
How's that any different from what any other rapper does who screams about the same sex, money, drugs, and shit? At
Okay,
least
but
he's talking about killing his stepmom or his stepdad.
and that's not crazy to you?
No, it's definitely not crazy because I
yo,
wanted to kill
yo,
my
yo.
stepdad.
This segment just went left. See, we can't even say on top of baby. See, we really see. I'll try to give baseball 3 minutes.
Nah, because you pissed me off when you said you don't even know Eminem's song. And then I said you probably don't even
I
know
know a couple.
five white rappers.
I
Like
know a couple. All right, Action Bronson. I like Action Bronson.
Action Bronson, that's who you
Yeah,
go with?
that's my guy.
Logic, NF, Yellow Wolf.
Look at
Come
that.
on, man.
I think I got a Yellow Wolf track or two on my Spotify playlist.
A tracker too?
Yeah, but Action
That country
Bronson,
white boy knows how to rap, okay?
Action Bronson, that's my dude. That's my dude. I fucks with Action Bronson. But
See,
Eminem,
we're getting off the topic now because you're getting me heated. I think I don't even know a few Eminem songs. Come on,
you know
man.
what, man?
Don't do Eminem like that.
Hold on. Yo, let this. I'm sorry, Major League Baseball. We tried. We tried. I tried to give y'all some coverage. You see,
Oh, damn. I forgot we was talking about baseball. Next topic.
I thought we gonna fuck it. We gonna keep going. We gonna keep going with this, man. We ain't gonna fuck up the flow. All right,
Just
they
retire,
also
man. Just retire.
they off the banner. It is what it is. Pujols just call it a career. That's it. We tried, man. We tried, but goddamn, bro, like. But since we here, since we on this, try to convince because I convinced you to order this Floyd Mayweather fight. Try to convince me as to why Eminem should be like an artist I should listen to. Fuck it,
Should be an
let's
artist
just
that
go.
you listen to.
Yeah,
His
I know a couple of
wordplay, his
tracks.
storytelling. Have you heard this song "Darkness"?
Nope,
It was off his last album.
I ain't hear it. The
Listen
last
to that,
the
and
last
then we
track
could
I
come
heard
back to it.
the last track I heard from Eminem was that commercial joint he had with Rihanna, and even he almost fucked that up.
Oh no! I gotta blame you now.
I'll go get
You
a tip.
serious?
Yeah.
Well, no wonder.
Wait, he
Yo,
said no wonder. No wonder what?
you talking about a 2007
What is it called? Love the way
track?
you lie? Yeah, man. Nah, it had to be 2011 some shit. It was definitely in the 10 decades, in the 2010s.
I mean, I don't even know what to listen to. Darkness. That's the only thing I can say about it. If you want to convince somebody to listen to Eminem about his storytelling, his wordplay, his lyrics and production
I miss D12, man.
and producing, listen to Darkness.
That's random. That was random stuff. I miss D12. I like him in D12.
I never liked him with D12, but that's for another podcast.
Yeah, but man, we gonna make a music podcast soon. Man. We got to have this conversation. But he just whines too much for me. I'm sorry. I can't
He
take that.
just whines too much.
I can't take that depression
Oh,
anymore.
I'm sorry that I don't want to hear Two Chains rapping about the same Two Chains and about throwing stacks on a girl at 24/7.
First of all, he got 6 chains now. Nah, but he whines too much for me, bro. Speaking as though someone that whines too much, that brings us to our final main topic for today: LeBron James. You see how we just smoothed this transition out, man. Like we here with
Don't worry, we're gonna come back to that Eminem whines too much. Don't worry, I'm
we
not gonna let that go.
we here with now. LeBron's Lakers. They've basically been rambled with injuries this season. LeBron, he's basically wrestling with his sore ankle. Dennis Schroeder's out right now. AD was on minutes restriction, but he had his best game last night. But that said, Andre Drummond, he has his situation, his injuries. But the Lakers, they're tumbling. They went from the top seed in the West to they now dropped to as low as the 7th seed after they lost to the Portland Trailblazers last night. And if the season was to end today, the Lakers would basically be in a play-in tournament, meaning that they would have to play the Golden State Warriors and have to beat the Warriors to hold claim to the 7th seed in the West. So last year, LeBron James was in favor of the play-in tournament. March of 2020, I remember the time like the Memphis Grizzlies, the Pelicans, the Sacramento Kings, the Phoenix Suns, all these teams, they were all in the conversation to make the playoffs. And the Lakers, who was the top seed in the West at the time, LeBron James was like, well, like if it's like about 10 or so games left, you might as well just let these teams duke it out, it's for the right to get in. Fast forward 14 months later, now that the shoe's on the other foot, LeBron James is like, well, whoever came up with this player tournament concept needs to be fired. So as you can see, LeBron James, he changes like the weather. Like you never know what you go get. You might get a sunny day, you might get a cloudy day. Right now, it's cloudy for LeBron the Lakers right now. So with that said, are you in support of the NBA playing tournament, or do you agree with LeBron's sentiments?
I I think I'm gonna have to agree with LeBron James' statement. I feel like a playing tournament is unnecessary. It's just an excuse for the NBA to milk more money out of their players that they already do. That's my stance on it. In terms of the Lakers falling so hard, I mean, they won 2 of the last 10.
God damn,
Like,
bro. That's
damn,
crazy.
man. When's the last time LeBron was a seventh seed?
Never.
And
Never. I don't think LeBron
um,
ever been lower a LeBron team. That's what I say LeBron because like LeBron just in his mind and the eyes of his fans, LeBron is the team. So like at the Lake, if a LeBron team does well, LeBron did it. If LeBron team doesn't do well, oh, it's the team's fault. So I would say like the last time the lowest seed LeBron ever was a fifth seed, I believe, and that
right,
was
yeah,
the
yeah,
year that they went to the finals against Golden State. That was his last year in Golden State, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah. It's. I mean,
It's a new
I don't
challenge.
even. I don't even know what to say.
It's a new
It's.
challenge. If I was him, I would embrace it because it gives him a narrative. It gives him a narrative. We all know LeBron James. He loves his narratives. He
One
loves his
hundred
narrative.
percent, yeah.
So imagine a hobble LeBron James with a bum ankle. He basically said that those around said that his ankle would never be 100% for the rest of his career. So you add that you're a seventh seed. Most had to play a play-in tournament. Okay, so you got that. Most likely you have to end up playing either the Phoenix Suns or the Utah Jazz or the Denver Nuggets, whoever case may be in the first round of playoffs. You're not gonna have home court advantage for any series along the way. Imagine you go through all that, you still make it to the finals to possibly play the Brooklyn Nets or your Philadelphia 76ers. I doubt it. Let's see if it happens. So just imagine that. Like you got so much things stacked against you and you still manage to pull through and get to the finals. That would be another feather in your cap, I would think. So why wouldn't you not embrace it if you're LeBron James?
Yeah, I think it's yeah. It would be a great narrative to pick a seventh seed and win the NBA finals. But I think it's his team's just been riddled with like injury too much, and I don't think
What team
both.
has it though?
Yeah, and I don't think both AD and LeBron James are going to be 100% to make it through. But the overall topic that we should be talking about is the schedule and how much a toll it has taken on players. I mean, look at Zion Williamson. He just went out I believe, last night or 2 nights ago,
Yeah, last night. Yeah, man.
and it just takes a toll on all the players. And for Adam Silver to try to condense and get 75 games in under 4 months is absolutely astonishing, and not in a good sense.
It's all about that dollar, man. It's all about that dollar. They don't care about us. They don't
Yeah,
care
one
about
hundred percent. So that's why I see this playing
bro.
tournament as just
Michael
another.
Jackson, the great Michael Jackson, he said it best. He said, "All of us, they already care about us, and they don't. The league, they don't really care about the players the way they claim to. You try to get
Right.
that money, like they even forced the All Star game on the players. All this time,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be like no All Star game. Then boom, we're having an All Star game, and LeBron James bitched about that too. Like, I'm gonna like physically be like just like LeBron, or I'm gonna physically be there, bro. But I'm not mentally gonna be there. And they still won the game. He didn't play that much, but he still won the game. He still has an undefeated record as a captain of the All Star game. So I just see it like LeBron James, like he just set up a narrative at this point. He's trying to act like he's dismissive of it, but my biggest issue with him is like basically, even though it probably was tongue in cheek at the time, who knows? It wasn't tongue in cheek because he said it with like a serious demeanor on his face. But the fact that you could call for somebody's job because you do not like a certain rule now that it's unfavorable to you and your team and your career, that's bush league in my opinion. Like that's just something that you just don't do. You can't call for
Yeah.
somebody's
I
job,
I I can't agree with that statement that he made.
especially when you're on record as supporting it last year. Like I have the quotes right here. I'm gonna read it. This is a quote from the Twitter of Sean. hiking. He said LeBron in late March of 2020. You got Portland, you got Memphis, New Orleans, and Sacramento tinkering around here. So there's 5 or 10 games left. Why not those guys battle it out? Make them play each other all 5 games. It's about 5 games. So basically like a 5 game. Well, yeah, like five. I don't know if he meant like a 5 game series or just like everybody just play each other, like do like a round robin tournament or some shit like that. Fast forward 14 months later, whoever came up with that shit, meaning the NBA playing tournament, needs to be fired. So, like, what changed? I'll tell you what changed. The Lakers are no longer a top 2 seed. They're not a top 2 seed, but we all know that when healthy, they're still the best team in the West. So I don't understand why he's complaining. Do you?
Yeah, I think he just sees it as another reason for trolls to come and attack him. I don't. I'm not really sure LeBron James gives a damn what the trolls say, or he
He really
listens
don't.
to.
He really don't because I remember like a couple of days ago, he was like he put out a tweet like saying like could anybody recommend like a great gaming chair? By the way, speaking of gaming chair, please like, share, subscribe to this channel here, the Tuck Podcast Network. You have other podcasts you can check out, such as Tuck Talk, and we also have the Gaming Chair podcast. So the fact that LeBron didn't mention the gaming chair, I just had to throw that out there. Shameless plug. But after he mentioned that, everybody like in his mental, like, yo, like how can you be worried about a gaming chair right now when we're about to like, most likely be in a playing tournament? Like, where are your priorities?
He's
So
probably thinking of moving on to the recent success of Twitch.
he's thinking about either that or he's thinking about, you know what, man, like Space Jam about to come out a couple of months. I was trying to start focusing on the rollout for that. Speaking of Space Jam, like, did you see the first one?
Yeah, I've seen the first one.
Okay, so
I'm black. Come on,
yeah, but
come
yet
on.
you're a black man. Yet here you are trying to like convince me of like watch and listen to Eminem and being shocked that I don't listen to Eminem.
Let's not get into that right now. Go ahead and ask your question.
All right, man. But what are your expectations for the sequel to Space Jam? I know this is a sidebar. It's not a part of
Um,
the topic. Like, what are you expecting for it?
I think it's a good idea. If anybody else was going to make a sequel to Space Jam, it would definitely be LeBron James.
Oh, he's
Um,
definitely the right one for it.
yeah, 100%.
I like the new
In terms,
uniform.
yeah, yeah, I think they're really good. In terms of, oh, and let me mention this to all the people who's hating on the new character design of Lola Bunny. How embarrassed are you?
Yeah, I'm like, come on, like it's a cartoon character.
How embarrassed are you?
They're like, they toned down her sex appeal. Like, really? So what? You
It's
want
a
to?
fucking cartoon bunny. Like, how embarrassed are you?
It looks like those dudes on Reddit that be drawing up these little what they call
Yeah,
those things? The control dudes, like these little like Japanese anime sex
they toned
cartoons.
down her sex appeal. It's a fucking bunny. We don't even
Yeah,
know her age.
exactly.
But back to the, I think it'll be a great family film. For people like me who like watch sports and like our age and our demographic, I don't think we'll enjoy it. Mainly so because it looks too cheesy. Like it has that Disney Channel cheese plot feeling
The
that
first
I
one was like
hate.
that too.
No, but the first one was actually good. It wasn't cheesy. TV shows and movies nowadays, they have this need to try to show the audience how funny they can be or how over the top they can be. And it just doesn't work 95% of the time. Based on trailers alone and based on Don Cheadle's character and the way he talks, will probably be one of the cheesiest and cringiest things I watch in that movie. It's it's such a cop out to have him as a game villain or master of the universe. We
Yeah,
know Don Cheadle is better than acting like that. I wonder how much he got paid for that actually. But
I mean, you gotta dumb it down for the kids, though, man. You know,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It has the feeling
my
of
biggest
a Disney Channel type storyline, but just on a larger scale.
my biggest
And that's
problem is
fine. It's probably not for us.
I just don't
It's
like what they
for the
did to
kids.
the I just don't like what they did to the Monstars.
I mean, they had to modernize it.
But you know,
I
like you got Damian Lillard looking like an android out here. You got Klay Thompson looking like Johnny Flash. You know, like
I mean, is
not Johnny
Dame
Storm.
Lillard not an android?
He's a robot. He look like
Is he not an android in real life?
I mean I guess
You
you could say,
pulling up from the logo and come on.
but come on, they got my man looking like C3PO in this. Like yo, then you got Diana Taurasi, she's in it, and then they just ruined her likeness. Like, so like, come on, man. Like, there's just so much going on with it, bro. So I don't know,
Yeah.
but I'm
I
gonna
mean,
definitely
like yeah, I'll definitely check it out from a standpoint of just I think LeBron is great in what he does. Um, so I'll definitely check it out. But in terms of looking for meaning in that film or like depth, I expect to find none. Like I said, it's more of a family friendly film, something that you take your kids out to see. Hey, LeBron James is in an animated movie, something like that. You have a few laughs, try to forget about the cringiness of it all, and just keep pushing.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely not looking for anything
But
meaningful.
get back to depth. The Lakers better make sure that they have their depth in check, because it look like they're gonna be playing the playing tournament. Just to bring it home. It look like they're gonna be in the playing tournament. As far as like, I think that the playing tournament is a great idea. I'm definitely in full support of it because for a team like the Golden State Warriors, now the Warriors, everybody expecting this upcoming season to have Steph, Clay, Dre, Andrew Wiggins, the whole crew. Then Clay went down all season injury, playing ball, working out all season, so we're gonna get to that in our 2 minute drill, similar situation, a similar story. So, from a Warriors perspective, the player tournament might be a good thing because like they have a lot of young pieces. Their rookie James Wiseman's out. Steph's been killing it, playing at MVP level. Draymond's been one of the best playmaking bigs all season. You got Wiggins, you got Kelly Oubre, Jordan Poole, and them boys. So I feel it'll be a great. I think the playing tournament would be great for them. Granted, right now they are the eighth seed, but if I'm the Golden State,
Playoff experience.
yeah, for playoff experience. So if I'm a Warriors fan, most likely we're gonna get bounced out in the first round if we play like a Utah or the Clippers or the case may be. But to win a play-in tournament, that could be like a big boost for the team. Like, yo, like with stuff like, hey, like we got all these young pieces, but we actually accomplished something. You know what I mean? I even feel like Knicks fans. Knicks fans always think like, yo, like I just want to get in a playoff tournament. Let's see what happens. Now they're in the top four, top five in the East. Might not even need
And
it.
New York looking
They're looking really
promising right now. Might have to go catch a game out there, man.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm gonna definitely try. I have a story about basketball on my history. I'll say that for like a future episode. But shout out to my people that still work at MSG, man. Shout out to y'all. But I'll definitely love to go to the next playoff game for sure. I'll definitely love to go to the next playoff game. But as far as support, like are you in support of the playing tournament or you basically agree with LeBron James? I'm not sure we actually answered that question yet.
Yeah, I think it's unnecessary and it's just a cash grab. And I'll just leave it at that.
It definitely is. It definitely is. But you guys, COVID kind of fucked up a lot of shit. So like, NBA had to squeeze in 3 days worth of All Star Weekend events onto one night. So it happens.
And that
But,
turned out horrible. But on the media side of things, everything went smoothly. But
but I'm most sure if the Philadelphia 76ers was in that playing bubble, you'd be all for
yeah, true.
it. Yeah, I know Washington Wizards fans like with Russ, how he's been playing, like they in full support of the playing as well. I know Scott Brooks most definitely is because that playing tournament can save his job. But I'm all for the playing tournament, bro. But let's get to the 2 minute drill. Unfortunately, we do not have a 2 minute drill graphic for today. I forgot to upload that, but there's been some news with the as far like the NFL and the NFLPA. There's some beef in the sense with Juwan James, white tackle for the Denver Broncos. He was working out during the off season. Unfortunately, tore his Achilles. And now there's been talks about his money might not being guaranteed for this upcoming season, how his contract should be voided. Now, Jawan James, he's opted out of the 2020 season. He was a COVID opt out. So basically, the franchise, the Broncos, will be missing out on 2 years worth of productivity from him. So, do you agree with the owners as far like salaries such as that? Like, if you get hurt during the off season, like you should not be compensated, or are you on the side of the players and then the fact that hey, like it's our job to stay in shape during the off season? You know, we're gonna work out, we're gonna run, we're gonna do like little scrimmages stuff like that. So, where do you fall on this?
Well, first, I think the way the NFL went about handling the situation after the news broke out about Jawan's injury, to send a memo to owners and coaches, uh, basically remind them like, hey man, look, you don't have to pay these people if they get injured off site. Just remember that. That was such a shitty move, and I'm glad the National Football Players Association called them out on that. I, but personally, I don't agree with players not being compensated. Well, let me rephrase that. I side with the owners in the issue, mainly because if you get hurt off site without any professional professional supervision, I don't think you should be paid, and especially if you miss the whole season.
Interesting. Okay, but let's say if it was your favorite player.
Uh,
Let's say if it was
why you always got to bring my Philadelphia teams into this?
because I got to test the validity of your statement sometimes.
Okay,
I
okay.
got to see if you're really about that. So let's say right if this was
Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith, rookie 10th overall pick, supposed to be like the next great receiver. Let's say he's running 8 miles. He's running 8 miles, right? So
Right.
that went over your head, did it?
It probably did, but like I said, I got the vaccine today, so I'm a little disappointed.
That went right over here. I said he's running eight
Yes,
miles.
we
That went
did.
right over your head. All right, cool. Fuck it. All right, so he's running 8 miles, and then let's say he trips over a rock or something, right? And then he just fractures his ankle. Now he's supposed to most likely be like out possibly like 6 to 8 months. I know that's kind of extreme for like a fractured ankle, but just work with me here. And he signed his rookie deal with the Eagles. Let's say it's about like 40, 30, no, 25, 30 million, something like that. And the Eagles like, you know what? I don't want to pay you. I don't want to pay you. And then basically, like like that pick right there is just null and void. You will have no first round pick. Jalen Hurts, he's just going out there with Jalen Rieger, JJ, Arcega Whiteside, and them boys. As an Eagles fan, would you still be in support of that? Not paying the players that get hurt during the all season?
Yes. Um,
You full of shit. You full of shit. You full of shit.
yes, mainly because he hasn't played a down yet. We're talking about Jawan Taylor, who hasn't played a down since what, like 2019, early 2020.
2019, 2019, 2019, yeah.
Yeah. You haven't played a down for us for 2 seasons, and we're supposed to pay you.
All right, let's switch over to basketball.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's say this is Joel Embiid,
Okay.
supposed to MVP. Let's say, right, like he's running, how Joel Embiid can be sometimes. Let's say he's at like a Meek Mill concert or some shit, right? And he's
Right before
dancing
the playoffs.
right before a play. He's on stage, he's dancing, and then he just pops his knee on some, how Embiid does. And the Sixers, like, you know what, like, for the simple fact that you got hurt outside, our doors, our facilities, stuff like that. We feel like, what, we should have to pay you for the rest of the season. So
Yeah.
how if you're Joel Embiid and you're a Sixers fan and the franchise say that about your star player, your franchise player, knowing how that could most likely set him off, and he'd be like, and B go like, what, fuck this team, I might go to a new one. I want to play for the Warriors with Steph Curry. He's on Team Under Armour. That's my guy. Let's say something like that happens.
He does sound like
How
that.
might be impression? Was that a good B impression?
That was pretty good.
Like, let's say that happens. As a Sixers fan, would you still have the same stance?
Yes. And it's funny
Oh,
that you
you
mentioned that
would.
because it's
Yo,
funny that you
fellas.
mentioned that because that same situation happened a couple of years ago. Actually, kind of. He was dancing at a Meek Mill concert with his shirt off. But he was supposedly supposed to be injured, I believe. Then video got around and it was like, and everybody was mad. Like, why are you dancing? Like, you tear
Right.
your heel again, and it's you're done for the season, stuff like that. So, if a person has played a significant amount of, if a person has played a significant amount of, well, excuse me, the vaccine getting to me, man. But if they have played a significant amount of the season, then yes, I do believe they should be paid whatever they finished. So if you played your first half of the season and you get injured at a Meek Mill concert, then you should be paid for just that season. You shouldn't be paid for your whole contract that you're obligated to.
Interesting.
But
Interesting.
overall, no, I gotta agree. You got injured at a fucking concert, like,
Okay,
and
but
you got the playoffs coming up. No, like you shouldn't even be at a concert. You stay home, you rest,
okay,
and you take it
but
easy.
in the case of Juwan James, you're supposed to take care of your body during the off season because that's why they have all season condition tests. And sometimes if you fail those tests, is you gotta be looked down upon within the organization. So most likely what he's doing is just
That's
trying to keep his
why.
body straight.
Well, LeBron James spends 1.5 million on R&R. Jawan Taylor should have spent 2.0 million.
Juwan James. Okay. Uh, man,
You
all right,
take care of your body.
it is good. I lose this one. I lost this one. I lost this one because I thought I'll be able to like convince you, but all right, cool. Like,
Oh, because at the end of the day, you didn't play for 2 seasons, and you get injured off site, and you want me to pay you for doing what? You ain't do shit.
I'm just saying, like, if this is like, let's say if this is like Ronnie Stanley or like Orlando Brown, somebody like that, just like a top echelon, also offensive lineman, this wouldn't be a topic of discussion. I think the fact that he sat out during COVID, I guess he still had to pay him for that as well. On top of the fact that now you get hurt during the off season, it would most likely be missing out on 2 years of productivity from you. I guess that's where the problem come in at. But I think certain players get certain privileges. You have to be that upper echelon to get away with certain shit. So I
Yeah,
guess
like LeBron James, he get away with a whole bunch of shit.
because yeah. But we'll see if he
So
gets away.
when you're like the face of the franchise or an organization, and people always say, well, why do LeBron get these calls and like why are they not calling him? Because he's LeBron James. He's the face of the NBA. So with that, it comes like special like privileges where the refs and staff are willing to give you more leeway into things. But yeah, Jawan Taylor, not to. You ain't getting that money, not from me.
Juwan James. See, Juwan James. See, Juwan, you're not even worried that this man pronouncing your name right. He keep calling you Juwan Taylor. But
How you
hopefully,
pronounce it?
yeah, it's Juwan James. Juwan James.
Jawan James.
Yeah, not Juwan Taylor. But hopefully,
Okay.
if there is a Juwan Taylor out there, hopefully that you're watching the Out of Bounds podcast. Hopefully you subscribe to the Tuck Podcast Network. Also remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Also, you can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Hopefully soon Apple Podcast. I know it says every episode, but they tripping right now, so hopefully we can work that out. Apple, hint hint. But
Apple's trash anyway.
yeah, but, yeah, for sure.
That's an edit. That's an edit.
But right now we're at the point of the show where it's hard to plug ourselves, man. Let's get up out of here. Let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, you can find me at Donnie. It's friend right below D period 000. I mean 0 NNIIE. Tell you, man.
That
gonna take
COVID
this
shot got
relaxation, that vaccine.
you. That vaccine got you fucked up. All right,
But
y'all.
yeah, definitely check out my interviews. I interviewed Tommy Duport a couple of days ago, and no, wait,
No,
didn't
rubber,
interview Tommy
rubber.
Newport.
Well, we
Interviewed
gonna do that to
Robert.
this. That one's gonna happen. Yes.
I'll tell you, man. I'm gonna take a nap after this.
You fucked up.
But yeah,
Y'all can find me at Ladale the Fashionista. Everything right there, title, everything like that. Also, you could follow also on the admin on the True Urban Culture IG page, so you can also reach out to me as far as any interview inquiries, business inquiry, whatever the case may be. You can reach me there. And as for Mr. Noel Austin, our Kyrie Irving, he was unfortunately couldn't be here because he's out burning incense and he's getting ready for Sunday choir tomorrow. So that's
so you're
that with
carrying in spirit.
yeah, so that's that with him. But you guys, y'all saw him on the Tuck Talk podcast last week. He killed it. So shout out to you, shout out to Noel, shout out to everybody a part of the Tuck family, and we'd love for you to be a part of the Tuck family as well. So if you enjoyed this conversation and you want to be like our Joe Harris for like a segment or two, feel free, to like drop your name in the comment section, your email address. I'll see you the link that way you go debate with your boys, so be a part of the Tuck family for like a segment too. So with that said, y'all, hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. And yeah,
Oh shit, it's Mother's Day.
yeah, Mother's Day tomorrow.
Oh damn.
See, you forgot one?
No, that's the person who's being the foster care. You just that shit goes to the wayside. I thought that shit was last week.
All right, yo, we are.
All right.
That's the best way to end this shit. All right, we are. We catch y'all next week, y'all.
Got it.